President Baldessare, the members of the graduating class, trustees, faculty, coaches, staff members, and our most special guests, the graduates' families and friends, are now gathered for the culminating event of the academic year, the conferring of the academic degrees these students have worked so long and so diligently to earn. Therefore, it is my very great pleasure to declare the 2016 commencement ceremony, the 119th commencement in our university's history, is officially convened.
Let us pray. Lord God, to you all hearts are open, all thoughts known, and before you nothing is hidden. This morning may our hearts be filled with gratitude, and may our thoughts turn to reflect on all the ways that you have gently accompanied and cared for each of these students during their time at St. Andrews. We give you thanks, O God, for the accomplishments being celebrated here this morning. Go with these graduates as they leave this place and walk into your good future. Gracious and caring God, hear our prayer. Amen.
Please be seated. On behalf of the trustees, faculty, and staff of St. Andrews University, and on behalf of the Laurinburg community, it's a pleasure and privilege to welcome you to this commencement ceremony in honor of the graduating class of 2016. Every year, commencement marks a significant accomplishment in the lives of the students who earn the right to walk across the stage. It also serves as a point of transition for all members of the academic community and for the institution itself. Each graduating class is special in its own way to those of us who remain behind. Graduates, you arrived on campus at a time when our country was finally, hopefully, coming out of the worst economic recession since the Great Depression, but a time still filled with challenge and uncertainty for higher education, for the economy, for the country as a whole. Over the course of your 4 years at St. Andrews, you not only witnessed and helped St. Andrews address these challenges and helped us grow, but you also helped us preserve what we cherish most about St. Andrews. We celebrate you today, not simply for the many qualities and talents that you brought to the community 4 years ago, but also, and more importantly, for the myriad ways in which you have worked hard to develop your talents, grow in knowledge and spirit, and even take risks to explore areas of study, competition, and service in which you were perhaps less confident and maybe didn't do as well as you had hoped you'd done. But you persisted nonetheless, and I tell you that counts for a great deal in the world you will find yourselves in when you leave campus today. Based on your work over these past years, we are confident that you're going to make important contributions in the workplace, in your communities, in your places of worship, and in the ways in which you choose to serve others as you go out into the world and respond daily to the calls that are made on your individual lives. I want to extend our congratulations also to the families and friends of the class of 2016. 4 years ago at our opening convocation, I told you that St. Andrews' experience depended heavily upon a partnership among the institution, our faculty and staff, the students, and you as family members. And I think today each of us, we can say, has done our part to reach this important milestone. We're grateful to you and to our graduates for the commitment that you made to join us and to persevere through to this defining moment in your academic careers. I want to welcome all of you to this ceremony today. Now, it's my privilege to invite the chairman of our Board of Trustees, Joe Strickler, to bring greetings to you on behalf of the Board of Trustees. Joe?
On behalf of the trustees of Weber International University, especially the St. Andrews campus, welcome. The one word or the one thought that I want you to remember is your future, in many ways, is determined by what you have done the last 4 years. The future of St. Andrews University will be determined by what you do for the next 45 years. or more. I'm not retiring for another 3 years. So keep that in mind. Remember, you are part of a family now. That family will continue for many years to come, and the success of the family in the future will depend on you. Welcome.
It is a long-standing tradition at St. Andrews for representatives of the student body to speak at commencement. And as many of you know, in addition to our residential campus here in Laurinburg, the university also delivers a set of evening and weekend programs of study at the campus of Sandhills Community College up in Pinehurst, North Carolina. Our tradition is for a student representative from the Laurinburg campus and from the Sandhills program to briefly address his or her fellow classmates. For the Sandhills program, our speaker is James Cordway. James enrolled in St. Andrews in the fall of 2013 with the intention of becoming a school teacher and will graduate today with a Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology. He's smart and hardworking. He's graduating with a 4.0 GPA. He hails from Michigan originally, worked up there for 10 years in the landscaping business that he ran before he and his family saw the wisdom and moved down to North Carolina. James and his wife Jennifer have 3 children, and they live in Pine Bluff, North Carolina, right outside of Pinehurst, where Jennifer teaches middle school and was recently named Teacher of the Year. For the Laurinburg campus, our speaker is Stuart Marshall. Stuart is from Raleigh, North Carolina, and graduates today with a major in social sciences with a concentration in history and a minor in music. Stuart has served this past year as the president of the Student Government Association. He is a member of the St. Andrews Pipe Band. He helped found the Music Performance Club and was a member of our Ethics Bowl team that competed across the state for the last 3 years. He recently studied abroad in India, and his academic awards include sophomore and junior honors. He was the recipient of the Blair Award for Outstanding Historical Scholarship. And because of his outstanding academic performance, he was also selected for membership in the St. Andrews Honor Society, Phi Gamma Mu International Honor Society, and Alpha Chi National Honor Society. We'll hear from Mr. Cordway first, and then followed by Stuart.
Thank you for the introduction, sir. When I moved to North Carolina from Michigan 6 years ago, I would never thought I'd be standing up here right now doing what I'm doing, especially at 38 years old. As he said before, I worked and managed a landscape company for over 10 years in Michigan, and my wife already graduated from college and was having trouble finding a job. She came down to North Carolina with the intentions of getting interview experience, and 2 days into her trip, she called me up and said, "Hey, you want to move to North Carolina?" It took me about 5 minutes of doing a pros and cons list to decide let's do it. Now I had to find a job. I looked in the landscaping field down here and I could never quite find anything I truly enjoyed. So at 33 years old, I stepped on a college campus for the first time. I was a little nervous, but after the first few classes where the majority of my professors were younger than me, I became comfortable and they knew how compassionate and goal-oriented I was about doing this. I went to Sandhills Community College for 2 years and then finally realized what I wanted to do. I walked into Jim Miles' office and said, "How fast can you get me a degree here at St. Andrews?" He replied, "As fast as you want." From there, I took anywhere from 3 to 5 classes a semester while working at a retirement home for 3 years, then at West Hoke Middle School as a teacher assistant for the last 2 years. After 5 years and a million discussion forums, which I love, to the dismay of my fellow graduates, I have finally graduated. After today, I will graduate with a bachelor's in psychology. My goals for the future are to stay in education and teach English language arts for a few years, and then move over to science. After some years of teaching under my belt, I would eventually like to become a school counselor, then perhaps a collegiate advisor, and teach some online or night classes. St. Andrews has propelled me to the next level and has done so with teaching diversity, communication, empathy, and passion to do what I love to do. I will use this degree to make a difference in the people I interact with in the future, whether it be in education or counseling. I love to see the students' faces when the light bulb goes off. I love to motivate and help students achieve their goals. I'm so glad we moved down to North Carolina and so lucky to have found the right people to support me and help me through this goal of mine. To the professors, teachers, close friends, and extended family, thank you for making a difference in my life and helping me get to this great occasion. From elementary school through college, I had quality teachers that made learning fun. I will always love to learn, and the main reason because of that is the teachers and professors that I had. Thanks to my mother-in-law and father-in-law, I have not been able to do this without your support and the enormous help you've been with our kids. You just being here means the world to us, and without you, we wouldn't be able to do dreams. My parents are here from Michigan. I would like to thank them for the support. They recently both retired, and I took so many great qualities from them, whether they were inherited or learned. They both worked over 40 years in their professions. I learned work ethic, patience, and goodness. To my children, Kayla, Kara, and Kyler, thank you for stepping up to the plate when Dad does homework, for helping in so many ways and keeping me laughing and smiling throughout. I would especially like to thank my wife. Without you, I would have never seen my true potential. Your push to commit and go to college was the best thing that you could have done for me. Thank you for the unlimited resources that you had at your disposal that you shared with me and helping me make the jump to move away from the snow of Michigan. I've always felt that if I had a motto, it would be live life to the fullest. This means to me in everything that you do. Take time to enjoy a ball game, go on vacation, spend time with your family without technology. Go on walks, have parties, love what you do in your career, play video games, go golfing, plant a garden, sit by a campfire, go outside and look at the stars. Life has so many enjoyable things to offer, so take advantage of them. Good luck to all the graduates, and make sure that you live your life to the fullest.
All right. Thank you, President Baldazar. Thank you, members of the faculty and staff, families, all the families here today. Thank you for the entire community of St. Andrews. Most importantly, thank you, class of 2016. It's my honor to speak before you today and to share in the celebration of your remarkable accomplishments. It was also my honor to play pipes for you as we processed across the Coswalk, as I did 4 years ago at our freshman convocation. 4 years of hard work has led to this day. It's been a great year, hasn't it? We've been through a lot together, from early Monday mornings in the classroom to late Saturday nights in Orange. This year we also got some bad news about football. I'm referring, of course, to the Carolina Panthers losing the Super Bowl. Despite any setbacks, we had to keep pounding. But I digress. Let's focus on today. Mark Twain once wrote, "The two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why." For some of us, today might be that day that we find out why, as we reflect on all we've accomplished in the past years, and as we plan out our lives. No pressure. You're probably expecting me to say that I have it all figured out and I know exactly what I'm doing. I must confess that I haven't yet found my specific purpose, and I don't know what the future holds for me. Yet I am not discouraged, because St. Andrews taught me two things. It is possible to be reborn, and it is possible to reevaluate why you were born. This place has changed me and us in so many ways, and we have experienced a rebirth, a renewal of hope, of energy, of passion and purpose. I, for one, am a completely different person than I was as a freshman, and I am glad for it. My experience here gave me the confidence and the faith to revitalize my hopes and dreams. This place has also challenged us and made us reevaluate everything. Through our education, we've expanded horizons and found new capabilities. As to answering the why of our existence, our answer may change from day to day. We may never have a final answer, and we must come to accept that. However, our education and our experiences will give us guidance on how to evaluate why we are here. The unique liberal arts education we receive here at St. Andrews will prepare us not only for our careers, but for all aspects of life. We should bear in mind the original motto of St. Andrews Presbyterian College, excellence for Christ. We must pursue this excellence in all aspects of our lives, not for selfish reasons, not to appease others, but in order to leave the world better than we found it. In the meantime, we can focus on reevaluating our purpose and revitalizing our goals. In time, we will all find our calling, and I hope we succeed. Even so, we shouldn't get caught up in the pursuit of success that we forget to simply be happy. It is crucial to have concrete goals for the future, but that shouldn't stop us from living in the moment. Everyone today is telling us that our degree is a prerequisite for career success, but material wealth is just one standard of success, and a hollow one at that. Proverbs 16:16 tells us, "How much better to get wisdom than gold, to get understanding is to be chosen rather than silver." We spent the past 4 years here receiving bits of wisdom from our professors and insight from our own experiences. Let us prepare for a lifetime of profit, not in material wealth, but in wisdom. I experienced a period of clarity and understanding last summer while studying abroad in India. Many times during this trip, I was astonished at the abject poverty that many people lived in. Yet many more times, I was inspired by their faith and their state of wisdom, acceptance, and happiness. One particular moment from the trip comes to mind. I was trekking through the Himalayas with several friends. Our guide led us through rocky terrain at over 14,000 feet. We grew weary, so our guide took us to a shepherd's hut for a rest. The shepherd lived in a small hut made of stone walls and a blue tarp roof. Among his few possessions were a tattered blanket, some pots and pans, a Coca-Cola bottle filled with goat milk, a small religious shrine, and a radio. The shepherd did not speak English, but he invited us in and prepared a pot of tea on his cooking fire. This was far past the altitude where trees stopped growing, so the customary fuel used is yak dung. We choked on the smoke while trying to be polite. The shepherd left to tend to his goats and sheep, trusting us to rest in his home and drink his tea as he worked. This man with very few possessions in the world showed us true hospitality and kindness. He gave what he had to foreign strangers and asked for nothing in return. The shepherd was a perfect example of human compassion and selflessness. Despite his meager circumstances, he seemed to have it all figured out. Which brings us back to today, that day that we are supposed to realize why we were born and decide on what to do with our lives. Why are we here? What is our purpose, and how do we succeed at it? It's important to answer these questions, but it's even more important to never stop asking. True success is not finding one's final answer of purpose, and it cannot be measured on a simple basis such as profit or prominence. Success is finding peace with ourselves and others, wherever we are. In order to find peace with ourselves, we must be honest and seek to accomplish our own goals. We cannot expect to improve unless we are open to this criticism. That being said, we should be our own worst critics because we should set our own standards. St. Andrews has given us the tools to chart our own course and to reflect on how far we've come. Today is the first step of many, just one testament of your capabilities. Our memories of St. Andrews will be just part of a lifetime of challenging and rewarding experiences. I wish you all the best of luck in your future endeavors. Thank you, class of 2016.
Let's give another round of applause for the choir for that excellent performance. The Class of 1991 Distinguished Faculty Service Award, our most prestigious faculty recognition, was created by grateful alumni to honor each year a member of our faculty. The Distinguished Faculty Service Award is given to an individual who has, over a sustained period of time, demonstrated characteristics of the most outstanding faculty: intellectual vitality, instructional excellence, effective communication skills, the ability to motivate or inspire compassion. This is someone whose commitment to and passion for education excellence is without bound and unquenchable. The 2016 recipient has been characterized as a positive role model for students by not only delivering engaging courses, but also making himself present at many events on campus. The recipient has interacted with students in freshman writing courses and in other creative ventures. Our recipient has been characterized as someone who really adds value to the work and experiences of St. Andrews. This year's recipient has been identified as a mentor for new faculty and was instrumental in new faculty member expand her knowledge and application of technology. Our recipient expanded his knowledge. Our recipient is recognized as an ambassador for St. Andrews as he engages with colleagues beyond the campus. He works hard to encourage students to engage in activities and through international study and using fall and spring breaks to extend their learning beyond the campus. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to announce that our Class of 1991 Distinguished Faculty Service Award recipient this year is Dr. Ted Watasi. And I ask... The Class of 1991 Distinguished Faculty Service Award presented to Dr. Ted Watasi, 2016.
St. Andrews University has a long tradition of awarding the prestigious Algernon Sidney Sullivan Award to a member of its graduating class each year, and from time to time to a member of the local community. The award is named for a late 19th century couple who lived in New York City and committed themselves to offering service and aid to others with a particular focus on folks in need in the South. Algernon and Mary Sullivan supported many, many causes and charities throughout their lives. This award was established nearly 100 years ago, and over time, 60 colleges and universities, primarily in the southeastern part of the United States, have been chosen by the foundation to grant these awards each year. The Foundation's primary mission is to inspire young people to lead lives of integrity, characterized by service above self and service to their communities. In addition to a generous and prestigious scholarship program, the Foundation accomplishes its mission by working through colleges and universities to recognize those students and members of the community who have demonstrated lives of service to others. I'm pleased to announce that this year's Algernon Sidney Sullivan Student Award for 2016 is presented to Stuart Marshall. Stuart, you don't have very far to walk. Come up here. We honor Stuart with the Sullivan Award not only in recognition of his exemplary academic accomplishments, which I mentioned earlier in his introduction as the class speaker, but more importantly because of the many ways he leads his life in service to others. On campus, Stuart's volunteer efforts have included helping to maintain the university's archives and the library, serving as a peer tutor, organizing a music performance club for talented students, and serving as one of the organizers for our Martin Luther King Day of Service. In his hometown of Raleigh, Stuart works summers with North Carolina Youth Conservation Corps. This organization partners with the Conservation Trust for North Carolina and serves to enrich and maintain North Carolina's land trusts and natural environment. During his time with the Corps, he worked on a variety of projects at Falls Lake and Jordan Lake. And then from 2006 to 2012, he volunteered regularly at the North Carolina Museum of History to work on the North Carolina War I military roster project. Stuart truly represents a person who is in his daily life, moves outside his narrow circle of self-interest, and expends his energy in service to others. Success in the classroom, a community leader, an accomplished bagpiper, and also someone who believes deeply in service above self. Please join me in congratulating Stuart on this year's recipient. As I said earlier, St. Andrews does not always give an Algernon Sidney Sullivan Community Award every year, but rather reserves it for special individuals whose contributions to St. Andrews and to the local community stand out in remarkable ways. This year we present the Sullivan Community Award to a community member who puts service above self in amazingly creative and oftentimes sacrificial ways. I want to ask the marshals if you'll escort Mr. Charles Larry Horn to the podium. Larry is a native of Laurinburg, North Carolina, where he grew up, son of a father who worked in local textile mills. With the encouragement of his parents and financial help from a community member who believed in him, Larry went off to college at Virginia Commonwealth University in Richmond, where he majored in design and graduated magna cum laude with a bachelor's degree in fine arts. He began his design career in the North Carolina furniture industry and then worked for more than a decade as a master designer with an international design firm in Washington, D.C. In 1982, he founded Horn International Designs in Bethesda, Maryland, where for 30 years he devoted his creative talents to major design projects for clients across the United States and internationally in England, France, and widely in the Middle East, notably Kuwait, Lebanon, Morocco, and Saudi Arabia. Many of his projects, particularly those involving historic preservation, were published in influential trade journals and magazines. Over the course of his career, and now in retirement back here in North Carolina, Larry has devoted himself to giving back to his profession, his community, and to nonprofit organizations that he cares deeply about. For his profession, he served in a number of volunteer positions in the American Society of Interior Designs and its philanthropic foundation, where he spearheaded a successful effort to raise scholarship funds for the next generation of design professionals. But it is for his service to this local community and to St. Andrews in particular that he's being recognized today. Although living and working outside of North Carolina for most of his career, he never lost touch with his hometown and returned over a decade ago to save a stately downtown home from disrepair and to do all that he could do to contribute to the economic development and revitalization of this community. His award-winning restoration of the Thomas Welton Manor on Church Street downtown and its subsequent designation on the National Register of Historic Places added to community pride and inspired other restoration projects downtown. Since its restoration, he's made it available as an important venue for local meetings and activities that celebrate the community. He also took pains to restore a storefront building in the heart of downtown business district to house a shop to help draw more visitors to the downtown strip. Larry served on the St. Andrews Board of Trustees for 5 years and took a keen interest in the historic significance of this campus design, which was built pretty much all at one time in the mid-20th century. With the help of fellow trustee Curtis Leonard, he spearheaded a multi-year effort to have the St. Andrews campus placed on the National Register of Historic Places, and that is scheduled to receive that coveted recognition this year. Larry has also spent considerable time, creative energy, and his own personal resources on certain campus renovations, public spaces, including the Sinclair Dining Room, Orange Residence Hall's main lounge, the bookstore, the Business Development Office and Lounge, and most recently, the President's Office, all done at no cost to the university. Larry is joined today by his family and friends in St. Andrews. I want you to please join me in congratulating Larry Horn as this year's recipient of this Community Award. It is also an honor for me this morning to introduce Charles Walker Morris, this year's commencement speaker. Walker's professional and personal life tells a story that resonates with that part of the Reformed Christian tradition that has influenced the mission of St. Andrews since its inception. And by this I mean the idea that education should prepare students to make a living, but more importantly, it should prepare them to make meaningful, purposeful, service-centered lives for themselves. For Walker, like most of us, the journey to meaning and purpose has not been a straight line and has taken many twists and turns. Walker grew up in Greensboro, North Carolina, and took the most difficult ACC basketball challenge of all by getting 1 degree from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill in English, and then a master's degree in teaching from Duke University, so he has divided loyalties when it comes to the basketball court. He taught high school for 2 years in rural community in eastern North Carolina, and then went to work in the field of communications, specifically radio broadcasting, as the sales and then general manager of a community radio station in Chapel Hill. He went on to become president and owner of his own broadcast company in Southern Pines as the licensee of 2 radio stations there. But throughout his broadcast career, he made a point of volunteering considerable time and energy to supporting, and in some instances leading, community nonprofit organizations, including the local Chamber of Commerce, its healthcare system, local and national Boys and Girls Clubs of America, and the Presbyterian Church, of which he's a member. In 2007, the opportunity for a church mission trip rolled into an opportunity to help direct business development efforts for President Clinton's Global Development Initiative in several countries in Africa. In this work, he coordinated initially the design and construction of community hospitals and primary schools, helped establish a rural healthcare initiative, and some environmental carbon offset tree planting projects. And he worked to set up fair trade associations for small farmers, growers in several countries in Africa. Then in 2009, he began working and traveling in the impoverished country of Haiti. As many of us remember, less than a year after he started there, a massive earthquake hit Haiti, and Walker's work multiplied. He joined forces with the United Nations Office of the Special Envoy to Haiti to respond to this devastating national disaster. Drawing on his business background, he helped coordinate the UN's redevelopment efforts in Haiti with the many corporate and NGO contacts he had made through the Clinton Development Initiative. Because of his talent and creative leadership, he was named Managing Director of the Clinton Development Initiative in 2010, and then its Chief Executive Officer in 2013, where he currently serves today. When they're not traveling in Africa or on a plane back and forth to Africa, Walker and his wife Katie, who's with us today, live in Southern Pines, North Carolina, where they spend as much time as they can with their 3 children and 4 grandchildren. Our speaker's life is a great example of how one can creatively balance making a living while also making a meaningful, purposeful life for himself. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Charles Walker Morris.
Well, thank you, Paul, for that most generous welcome. I want to thank the faculty and the administration and the trustees and the commencement committee for giving me the great honor of sharing this most important day with you. And now for the graduating students, the role of the commencement speaker is to offer you some words of advice and encouragement to you, the new graduates. Today it makes my role a little bit more difficult, and it certainly makes your responsibility to be eager and enthusiastic listeners a little bit more of a challenge, because other than Paul's introduction and what you may have found in a Google search, you don't know much about me and my life and why you should listen to what I have to say to you today. So I'm going to need to spend a few minutes telling you about the one thing that I think you might be interested in and that Paul has alluded to. And I hope it gives me some credibility as an advisor to you. And after that, I'm going to fulfill my responsibility, which is to give you some words of advice. That one thing is that after being born and raised and educated and living my entire life within the state of North Carolina and having a fulfilling and successful business and personal life running radio stations 30 miles up the road in Southern Pines, I did, at age 56, move with my wife, Katie, to the small, landlocked country of Malawi in sub-Saharan Africa. Malawi was then and still is one of the poorest, most overpopulated countries in the world. Among all the lists that you want to be at the bottom of, Malawi is at the top of, and vice versa. Those are lists of things like maternal and infant mortality rates, malnutrition and stunting rates, per household income, and average life expectancy. But Malawi is known as the warm heart of Africa for a good reason, and the people there certainly deserve better life than they have in many ways. I went to Malawi to start a career for which I seemingly had no prior training or experience, and which could not have been more different than the life I had led working for the previous 30 years. For the past 8 years, I have worked in Malawi and then in Tanzania and in Rwanda, creating and building and managing a diverse set of projects to help smallholder farmers transform their lives and the lives of their families. My work focuses on helping farmers to be more productive, to help give them access to better seeds, to give them new farming techniques to deal with the depleted soils that are on their farms, to increase the yields of the basic food crops that they grow, and to help them find better markets for their crops so that they can sell them for a higher price. In most sub-Saharan African countries, 75 or 80% of people live and work on very small farms. So if you are challenged like I was to go and create economic opportunity, it has to take place at the farm. It has to be focused on agriculture. All of this work, as Paul said, has been done by the Clinton Development Initiative, which is a part of the Bill, Hillary, and Chelsea Clinton Foundation of the U.S. The foundation has received quite a bit of attention and scrutiny recently. I'm sure you have heard about that, and you will hear much more about that, trust me, over the next 6 months. I don't want to spend time on that today, but I do want to tell you that the foundation is made up of some people like me and a lot of people like you who are doing remarkable work in the United States and all over the world. So here's what I think is interesting about my story. The Clinton Foundation, which is led by some very smart people, made the decision to turn over to me, someone who had previously been to Africa only once, who knew absolutely nothing about farming or about agriculture, who did not speak any of the local languages and knew very little about the local cultures. These very smart people entrusted me with the responsibility to build and develop and execute a program that they believed could transform the lives of millions of people who most needed and deserved to have their lives transformed. So what exactly were they thinking when they made that decision? Is that any kind of way to run a program that they think is so important? Well, the answer is yes. And what is at the core of my message to you today of good news is, why was I able to be selected for this important responsibility in the first place? And why have I been able to be successful in doing a job? My answer is that the really important skills that I took into this new excitement were not the technical skills that I had developed over my working career, but were very much the result of the liberal arts education that I received. It's the fundamental thinking skills that I developed as an undergraduate student, just like most of you, that have helped me to be successful. Those are the skills that I've relied on in circumstances that could not have been more dramatically different than those that I had experienced in all of my previous life. And so my message to you today is that what it was in me that seemed to be a good bet for the Clinton Foundation can be a meaningful part of your stories as well. The story of what your 4 years at St. Andrews has taught you, and how your experience in this place has polished you into the person you are now. If you've used your time here, then you are absolutely prepared to take head on any of the challenges that come your way. If you build on the foundational skills that you have learned here, you're going to be able to handle anything that comes at you, no matter how strange or new or disorienting they may be. The pace of change in the world means that there is a certainty that many of you here today will be thrust into situations just as unfamiliar to you as they were for me as a radio station manager suddenly tasked with growing corn and soybeans in sub-Saharan Africa. And the very great likelihood is that the dramatic opportunities are not going to come to you in middle age like they did to me, but within the next 5 years. And that the pace of change that we're experiencing really means that you're going to have these opportunities multiple times during your working career. North Carolina's Governor Pat McCrory initiated a spirited discussion of higher education about 3 years ago when he talked about his concerns about what students at the public universities were being taught, what courses they were taking, and he was specifically commenting on how those courses prepared them for today's jobs. I agree in great part with what Governor McCrory said, but I am concerned that there's too narrow a focus on what those specific skills are that you should be learning in your college education that prepare you for your career, whether it's in your first job or in your longer career ahead. What I've learned in the past 8 years is that getting a liberal arts education, majoring in English, gave me just the skills that I needed to be of help and aid to the farmers in Africa. And I'll stake myself out on this, that you now have the set of tools to succeed in a much wider spectrum of careers than you today think might be possible for you. And what are those skills that your education at St. Andrews has nurtured and encouraged in you, and what should be valued by college educators as they are here at St. Andrews? My list starts with the ability to take what you read and what you hear and apply critical thinking skills to understand the writer and the speaker's intent. To be able to place that material in a cultural and historical context that makes it more meaningful for you. And to be able to discern nuance and tone of voice. Secondly, even in a world where communication is delivered in 140-character Twitter messages, the ability to write effectively is still valued and rewarded in the workplace. Perhaps now more than ever, as it seems that a smaller percentage of the student population has those skills when they come out of schools. Now, not all of you are excellent writers, but I'm positive that each of you is a better writer today than you were when you set foot on the campus 4 years ago. Just as important is your ability to speak effectively in a variety of styles that are appropriate to the audience and the intent of your message. To be clear and concise in what you say, to be convincing and persuasive, to speak honestly. And ultimately, the most valuable skill that you can take into any job is the ability to make good decisions. Earlier this week, David Brooks had a wonderful column in the New York Times in which he talked about what he termed the choice explosion. He wrote, "Americans now have more choices over more things than any other culture in human history. We can choose between a broader array of foods, media sources, lifestyles, identity. The explosion of choice means we all need more help understanding the anatomy of decision making. It makes you think that we should have explicit decision-making curriculums in all schools." St. Andrews may not have an explicit curriculum in decision making, but I'm very sure that your work in the classroom, in the lab, and the study group, and certainly in your private lives as members of this community, have challenged you to learn to make good decisions. Sometimes that happens after seeing the ramifications and the impact of bad decisions made by you and others you know. These are the skills that you've developed at St. Andrews. Whether you're receiving your degree today in English, or in philosophy and religion, or in visual and performing arts, or in forensic science, or in therapeutic horsemanship. And these are the skills that are your most treasured assets as you begin to navigate the world that's laid out in front of you. So let me close by fulfilling my task of giving you a few words of advice as you emerge from this cocoon where you've been developing for the past 4 years and into a new world that is thrilling, challenging, and frightening all at the same time. You're now ready to take what you have experienced and learned at St. Andrews and unleash it upon the world. So here's the advice that I have for you. First, share yourself freely. Your talents, your gifts, your enthusiasm. You can do it in your career, but also make time outside of your workplace. Find your own version of Malawi in your own communities. Give 2 hours a week to a local Boys and Girls Club, as a tutor in a local school, or as a volunteer youth leader in your church. That will add valuable and fulfilling piece to the mosaic that is your life in full. Listen carefully to what other people are saying to you. Listen especially to people who are different from you, who hold different opinions and disagree with what you believe. People who come from dramatically different backgrounds than you. And more than just listen, hear them and learn and apply those skills. Be empathetic. It's much healthier and more fulfilling to be a caring person, a good friend to someone who really needs you. Don't waste your valuable time being cynical or aloof. Be imaginative in your thinking. Tomorrow's challenge are inquiry and perspective, and there will be times that not being an expert will free you to look at a situation creatively and see opportunity that a more trained mind can't imagine. Have the boldness and confidence to explore, to step into the unknown and the uncharted, and this is where you will do the exceptional. Now, I told you the where of my story and the how and the what. What I haven't shared is the why. And that is that I felt while my life was full and fulfilling, that there was a calling that was being made to me, that I was being pulled in a new direction. So my last word of advice to you is know that you'll hear that voice too. You'll hear that calling. You'll be pulled into a world that you think is beyond your abilities and certainly beyond your expectations. But you're on the threshold of a new life where you have the skills and the enthusiasm to be able to respond to that pull and be able to respond to that calling. And I urge you as strongly as I can to hear the voice and feel the pull and not be afraid to go with that. I want to congratulate you all. I want to thank you very much for the great honor of being able to share the stage with you today. And I wish you all of the best in your future life beyond here, beyond today, and in this great big world in which we all live. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, the moment we have waited for is now here. As Dean of the University, I have the honor of presenting to you those students who have completed their prescribed work for the Bachelor of Arts, the Bachelor of Science degree, and the Master of Business Administration who have been recommended and approved for this degree. Will the candidates for the bachelor's degree please rise if you are able?
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of St. Andrews University, and in accordance with the laws of the state of North Carolina, I hereby confer upon you the bachelor's degree for which you have been recommended, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto pertaining.
Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Arts degree please come forward to receive your diploma as your name is called?
And then we haven't seen your face. You know you're going to get that.
I will proceed with the names alphabetically. Rebecca L. Alden. Lucas Apollinero. Jonathan Blaine Arvin. David Tyler Beaver. Ann Harmon Billings, magna cum laude. Wendell Blackman. Jordan David Blair. Angela Scott Bowles, magna cum laude. Christina Marlene Burdick. Stacy Elizabeth Canty. Nancy Cardoza, summa cum laude. Alexis Cordova. James Cordway, summa cum laude. Casey Melinda Cribbs, magna cum laude. Mary K. Cross. Leandro Custodio. Vincenzo Matthew D'Abrasio. Mandy Dalrymple, summa cum laude. Brendan Duncan. Quentin Duncan. Corinne Elizabeth Esso, General Honors. Kirsten Renee Farley. Crystal LaJoy Fling, cum laude. Nolan Robert Gilmore. Travis William Grooms, summa cum laude. Rebecca Jane Harper. Sarah Catherine Hartley. John Henry Hatch, cum laude. Clint Ray Jordan. Santiago Rosada, cum laude. Nina Jurek. Dennis Hubert Keene. Miranda Doreen Carney. Karen Rochelle Law. SUNY Champaign Ledbetter, magna cum laude. Denzel Jamar Leggett. Teo Silva Laguardi. Giselle Renee Little. Stuart Hayslip Marshall, General Honors, Honors and Major. Spencer Lauren McAfee. Michael Keith Morgan. Larry Stacy Murray Jr. Sarah Lynn Mervin, cum laude. Jose Maria de Alfonso Mustines. Mariah Charlie Nesbitt. Catherine Hyatt Owens. Ryan Edward Perez, cum laude. Melissa Kate Pierce, cum laude.
Yeah, right.
Raven Kaylee Prather. Megan Catherine Hustarfi. Christopher Scott Rector II. Hector Laredo Rivas. Pedro Sandin. Kyle Edward Thomas Shade. Courtney Michelle Schweier, cum laude. Emily Claire Scott. Kima Sidbury. James Dylan Smith. Alberto Javier Ortiz Solis. Andy Semiso Stewart. Melissa Caitlin Stiers, magna cum laude. Mary Catherine Thompson. Dejan Tremaine Tanee. Evan Curran Tucker. Denzel Craig Vaughn Jr. Sierra Kathleen Walker, General Honors, magna cum laude. Austin Richard Weber. Cherie Monique Williams. Emily Catherine Wilson. Karen Lanice Zelanka. Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree please come forward to receive your diploma? Matthew O. Boseman, cum laude. Jennifer Michelle Castanon. Sheridan Dylan Robinson. Regina Gabrielle Drake Parkway, cum laude. Deshaun Thomas Ure. Blake Elizabeth Faulkner, escorted by Mika, her service dog. Shannon Marie Hahn, summa cum laude. Amber Ann Hancock. Aaron Davis Jones. Jared Isaiah Key. Catherine Marie Keys. Patrick Robert McCleary. Kaylin Lee Packard. Caitlin Brenda Stimpium, cum laude. Elizabeth Ann Weeks.
As a symbol of your accomplishments, all recipients of a bachelor's degree may now shift your tassel from the right to the left.
Mr. President, I now present the candidates for the Master of Business Administration degree. Will the candidates for the master's degree please rise?
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of St. Andrews University, and in accordance with the laws of the state of North Carolina, I hereby confer upon you the master's degree for which you have been recommended, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities theretofore pertaining.
Will the candidates for the Master of Business Administration please come forward to receive your diploma as your name is called? Brian Seth Brown. Eric Seth Brown. Darian Jamel Cahill. Robert Lawrence Jacobs. Shiloh Alexis Kozlowski. Terry H. Lauder. John H. Lauter. Joshua W. Lee. John Allen McLaurin. Kevin Todd Norton. Megan Michelle Powell. Everett Radcliffe. Dalton B. Steed. Daniel John Whitecabbage. Stephen Alexander Zondi. Caitlin Rose Grego. Caitlin is an athletic trainer at St. Andrews who, because of her be a very busy schedule, completed her master's in international business through Weber.
Our commencement ceremony celebrating the class of 2016 is now drawing to an end. While today marks the end of this academic year, it also marks the beginning of a new chapter in these graduates' lives and for their alma mater, a new chapter that is currently being written, making clear that together we can deal with challenge, we can embrace change, but remain ever true to the vision and principles that prove transformative for each one of our graduates and inspirational to us here at St. Andrews since its founding more than 50 years ago. In just a few moments, our recessional will begin, and all of you are invited to a reception immediately after the close of the ceremony so that family, friends, faculty, and staff will have the opportunity to congratulate our new graduates in person. Refreshments will be available under the white tent right out there on the other side of the grove. So head up that way after we're finished. And if you will, listen carefully to this. After the choir sings a parting blessing, I want to ask all who are able to please stand so that we can sing together our alma mater, which is written on the back of your program, and then remain standing at your seats for the benediction and then for the platform party to recess. So now to our faculty and members of the class of 2016, and to all of our guests, I declare that after the following benediction, the 2015-16 academic year will be concluded.
gracious and merciful God, giver of all good gifts, be our help now as we go from this place to pursue lives of peace, justice, and reconciliation in your world. With grateful hearts, we call on you, O God. Amen.